Bro thinks he is
bringing
Demon
this
One.
trio together, was something that a lot of fans
चालू
have
कर
been
दी
waiting
मैंने.
for, and I think it's shown in their success
Wow.
in the region, right? It's why
Lotus
they've
7
been
पे
so dominant
100%
too.
win rate.
I think that
अरे
they
बहुत अच्छी
are
टीम है भाई,
ready,
ये लोग नहीं जीते तो
definitely
फिर
to
छोड़ ही दे.
step out
इनको
of
कभी जीतने का चांस
in
ही
terms
नहीं.
of the big fish, small pond kind of thing. They're all ready to step out of their pond, but it's a big question of how much that experience and that trio, that kind of synergy, can stand up to the likes of the Southeast Asian scene, which has been very, very erratic, and they have enjoyed a lot of success, especially this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can't sugarcoat it. The South Asian region is not comparatively that strong
That's
compared
not
to some of the
ideal.
others. I see this team a lot like E-King, who also come from that weaker region, and we saw E-King put on a really good performance and make it close against Motive, who are one of their favorites. So that doesn't mean it's an automatic loss. It doesn't mean that it's a weak team or anything like that compared to those
Tamara.
kind of regions. It just means now is going to be a chance for them to prove themselves. That's what they're looking
हमारा.
for today.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you have a young gun like Damara also ready to prove himself, right? His addition to Velocity I think has been very, very interesting. He has lent a lot of firepower to Velocity too, and I think he gives that additional push to this team, right? He's able to help them elevate past what we know, like I guess the standard that South Asian teams have set. They're able to break through, and Damara is a big part of that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This guy's neon is incredibly fast. I think we're certainly going to be seeing that today. That's kind of his signature.
देवा विश्वकर्मा बने हुए हैं हमारे साथ
However,
चैट
I
में.
think this is a team that don't need to make too much of a
मेरे
statement. They can
टीममेट
prioritize team player comfort.
और लॉस पे.
Bring out that chamber over in South Asia. I want to see them stick to what they
फिर
know.
नेक्स्ट VCT कब आ रही है, नवंबर में?
Visuals on
नहीं
the
कर
field,
रहा है यार मैं
especially
नेक्स्ट
Tamara
वीक.
on his neon.
ये निशाद वगैरह करेंगे वो.
Yeah, I think the
इनसे होगा.
synergy that
फिर
he
तो
has
हो गई.
with Velocity is one of the things that they have up their sleeve that
हो
others
अच्छा,
गई
अपनी
इसी के
टीम
लिए.
तो संभाली नहीं जाती है.
because
Yeah.
VCT
as
क्या
we know,
संभालेंगे?
the stage can transform players, right? And you look at Full Sense, and they're not exactly newbies to the scene as well,
पर
but
डिवाइन से
sometimes
बात करते हैं.
the stage, training that kind of muscles that come out on stage, or training the kind of stage fright that does happen, the initial nerves,
कोरोना भी
all those
चालू
things.
कितना टाइम
They have
पास.
so much veterancy
मैंने
on the side of
सुनना भी नहीं
Velocity
इसको
that
तो.
I feel like that can actually be the key to their success here in this series. That can actually help them outperform Full Sense in this series.
Yeah, very much so. I do think they have a bit of an experience advantage, especially with Russ and Lightning Fast having played over a Pacific. It's about using that experience. It's about understanding how to keep yourself calm because, like you say, Mika, stage Valorant is a different beast. You got the different headset on. You got the white noise being pumped in. The game
एक काम
is
करता
taking
रुक.
place
स्क्रीन
fast.
पे ना इन
So I
दोनों के
think that's
जगह
where
अपन
we'll see
दोनों की
that
स्क्रीन्स डाल
experience
देता.
to really help the younger players on the team, the Indonesian imports on that team, help get them over the hump
हो
quickly
गया.
because now the stakes are higher than ever. This isn't South Asia anymore. You're playing
तो
against
देखने को
international
क्या क्या.
opponents, Thai opponents at their home ground of all things, and we know how cracked Thailand is as a region. So it's going to be a
म्यूट भी
big
कर देते
opening
ना
game
इनको,
for
अपन
both
ही
of
बोल
these
देते
teams.
हैं.
I think really getting off to a strong start. Now we know this group is already going unpredictably. That top spot could be up for grabs for absolutely anyone. So a win today really is a must.
Yep, it definitely is. As we saw in the first series, that was very, very revealing with how differently, what we think of this Ascension. It could be all up in the air at this point. And we're seeing the
Yeah.
map bans come out. We're not seeing Corrode. We're not seeing Abyss. We are going into Ascent first, and this is something you brought up, Morgan, that
आपकी
you
आवाज नहीं
feel
आ रही है.
very, very
मैं
confident
कुछ
about.
बोल ही नहीं रहा,
Because
मैं लिप
Ascent
सिंक कर
is a
रहा हूँ
very
ना उसके
interesting
साथ.
composition as well, and they should be very comfortable with this map veto so far, except for that Lotus. My eyes kind of
Yeah,
twitching at that one.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. So, Full Sense selecting Ascent makes a lot of
Ascent लिया
sense. As I said before, they've been very,
VLT
very
ने.
good on it, while Velocity have not looked good. That's a map that they've been losing domestically. But then Velocity taking
Ascent और
Lotus,
लोटस
a
ले
map
जो
where they
उनके
are
अच्छे
very strong,
मैप्स है
flawless
VLT
on
के,
it.
पता
And we
नहीं क्यों.
haven't seen this map from Full Sense in Split 3 of Challengers. So I think that's a kind of an
हम्म.
entirely unknown, but I think I could very easily see this going the distance, going to sunset. I think this is going to be a very close best of 3 in my mind, especially with that veto.
अगर
Yeah,
पहला गेम हारी तो बंद कर रहे.
I
अगर
do
पहला
want to
गेम जीती
see
तो
if it
सेकंड
does
गेम
go
तक
closer to
देखेंगे.
sunset. I
पहला
also
हाफ ही हार
Full
गए
Sense,
तो
they
बंद
have
कर
a
देंगे.
they have a
हाँ
bit of a
वही.
strange
Fnatic
comp
तो
on
है नहीं
sunset
जो
also.
बंद कर
I'd
देंगे.
love to see
वही.
that come out too. But
पहला कौन सा
we're
मैप है?
going into
कोरोड.
Ascent first, and then
नहीं,
Lotus.
पहला
And
Ascent है.
I would say that Ascent probably heavily favors Full Sense, but Velocity, they've been loving Lotus so far. They've been
Yeah.
very, very dominant on this map. They have so many reps on this map also. And Full Sense, they have been avoiding Lotus as much as they can. It could be a double-edged sword because like the more you avoid a map, the more time you also have time to prep on it. You could change things up and other teams won't know. So it's making me feel uneasy here with for Full Sense. It may be maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially when we look at that Lotus, right? The composition that we've seen Velocity play in the past is that SK Rossi on that chamber, which I think is
अरे भाई
massive
एसके
and
रॉसी
it's
चेम्बर
watchable,
खेलेगा
but
भाई
it is also a very different
असेंट
एसके
style
का
of
नहीं है, वो
रॉसी
play from
लोटस
the
की बात
meta.
कर रहे हैं.
So it's what will
जो
Full
भी
Sense
है
have to
जहाँ
do.
पे
If
भी
they
है
don't
एसके रॉसी
put a stop to that
चेम्बर
chamber, then he becomes effectively a useless agent because he doesn't
यूजलेस
have a lot of
एजेंट बोल
detail
दिया.
to help the team. So I'm so excited for that map too. But as you say, we are starting on Ascent, where I think the shoe is on the other foot. Is what the Velocity have prepared to deal with the deadlock that we're almost certain Full Sense are going to be bringing out here. I need to see good game plans, good protocols, and not giving them too much space on attack because we know how effective deadlock is in those post plants. So I think this is a battle of macro, this is a battle of preparation, and I think this veto has this going all
Are
the
you
way
sure?
in my mind. So yeah, very
Yeah.
excited.
इसको
I
बुलाते
I
क्या
am
देखो
on board
चैट
with you
देखो
there.
अपनी.
I think we are going into a map number 3 at this point because
डीएम
it,
देखो
it
डीएम
has
सॉरी
the
चैट
potential to
बोल
be
रहा.
very, very back and forth.
अगर
And
वो होगा तो
with
बुला लो
how these teams play also, you know, you could see very, very
ऑनलाइन
explosive
ही नहीं है वो
rounds on the
Yeah.
side of Full Sense, but then, you know, on the side of Velocity also, I trust that they're able to actually pull back the rounds. I trust that their comeback factor is a lot more powerful than people think, especially
नीरज सर
since,
को बुला
as
लो
we
ना.
mentioned, we're
वो
playing
क्या
on
कर
a
रहे हैं?
stage
क्या
where
पता
Velocity has players that are no stranger to the stage. We keep talking about how it's a different kind of Valorant. It's a different game once you step onto that stage, and that can make or
और
break
कौन कौन
certain
है?
series. So
कितने लोग हैं
I'm
बे?
hoping
कोई
that
तो आएगा.
Velocity knows that. I'm hoping that they lean into that. And especially here on Ascent, all they have to do is just really keep their calm. I feel like they can pull through this, even though we are heavily favoring Full Sense here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious if we're going to see a composition swap here for Velocity. So last time we saw them play it, they were running that jet. It was very, very standard across the board. But as I said, Tomorrow's Neon is very, very strong. I feel like I would rather them mix it up, try something different, because it's a map you've not been successful at and your opponent has been very, very strong at. Now is the time to take risks. You're coming in as the underdog. I think it's okay to kind of blow things up, take these bigger
जल्दी
risks,
शुरू यार.
experiment, because it's still the group stages. And if you can steal that map away, then the series is yours for the taking. So I think I want to see them play with confidence. I want to see them take risks, both in preparation and in the server. I mean, this is an aggressive team. South Asia is an aggressive region, and I think we gotta I really want to highlight SK Rossi because that is an incredibly aggressive player. So I want him to
इसके
use those
रोसी की
skills he's
तारीफ
learned
कर
at
रहे
the
हैं.
top level, run
अग्रेसिव
into
प्लेयर है
this
बोलते
here, and be all up in the face of Full Sense, who are also going to be aggressive, by the way. Ty Valorant is not slow.
Oh, definitely not. It's as you mentioned, we're expecting very, very explosive rounds here. And I think from the side of SK Rossi, I love that we're seeing a lot of growth from him as well. You highlighted him as a very aggressive player,
जब तक शुरू
but
होता
we're
है मैं
also
आता हूँ.
seeing him shine in the back lines, right? Picking up the sentinel roles also a lot
Yeah.
this year. So that's something that adds another level to the side of Velocity. This kind of flexibility that they can pull out from their players is something that I'm also looking forward to. I'm eager to see, as you mentioned, new compositions come out because the advantage of actually having a few weeks break is it's enough time to actually switch things around, especially if you want to focus on a certain map. If you know that your opponent, your first opponent, likes to lean into this map, why not prep heavily for that?
Yeah, I think that's a very important point because the South Asian League was actually the first Tier 2 league to come to a conclusion. Velocity were the very first team locked into Ascension. They have had the most prep time out of everybody in this entire tournament to get ready, to get prepared for this tournament. So if they've really put that to good use, they have a very, very big advantage heading into this. So I'm curious. They've had plenty of time to make changes, adjust roles, and fix mistakes. So if they're able to use that very well, I think I'm very optimistic.
Definitely. I'm also optimistic to see what both of these teams have prepared after that little bit of a break. As we mentioned before, this could be the final Ascension. So I'm imagining all of these teams actually want to put that best foot forward because again, we don't know when a chance like this is going to come out in the same kind of iteration. We're seeing the Thai representation as well with the Thai Elephant fans coming out from Full Sense. And now as Velocity walk out, we're seeing like some of the players really shake off some of those initial nerves. You know that they want to be fully warmed warmed up as they step into the server. We know that Velocity have been so dominant in South Asia. I want to see that confidence carry over here onto the Thai stage, even if they are facing off against a team that is fighting on their home court. We know that Full Sense, they can be very comfortable as they step onto the stage. And as we mentioned before, teams who are playing in their home court, they do have a little bit of that buff that can come in.
Oh, it's a massive buff. It's massive knowing that there's people in the crowd supporting you, cheering for you. A little bit of that bleeding in through the earphones goes a very long way. So for Full Sense, I really want to see them kind of lean on that. Know this is your home ground. We saw how far Boom were able to take it last year when Ascension was in Indonesia. This is a massive buff that I think they should really lean into. But on the flip side, for Velocity, you know they have this advantage. I want to see Velocity start very strong, silence that crowd, and put a stop to any momentum that Full Sense might be bringing into this tournament.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Suit
do
pen
love
garam.
it when teams are actually able to do that, despite that home crowd buff that might be coming in. We saw that happen for SPG, and just like how the crowd was like shell-shocked and stunned. And I don't mind it coming out from Velocity here up against Full Sense. I'm really interested to see what kind of agents we're going to be seeing on here. As you mentioned, we are expecting like SK Rossi, but I'm not expecting him on any kind of aggressive agent. We did see that he has been achieving success on the Cypher, for example, when they go over onto Ascent. So why not? And I think for the side of Full Sense, I really want to see Potter, because you know, you look at this guy, you look at his stats, very aggressive attacks on the duelist role, and so many first kills on the board also. I think this guy, he's going to be leading from the front lines.
I think one other thing we have to highlight on the side of Full Sense is right now Cuckoo God is not in this roster. Alpenia is in instead. So how does that affect the roles? How does that change things? There's a lot of questions. And ultimately, how does that throw off this preparation that we know Velocity have had ample time to do? So I am incredibly curious. But yeah, like you say, Potter as well on that Jet, on that Duelist, is an absolute demon. He's for sure one to watch, and it's about being able to neutralize that firepower. I think there are interesting
आपने
matchups
बेडवेट लगा
across
लिया,
every
देखा
single
मैंने
role here, so
क्या?
I just can't wait for this game. to
बेडवेट
start.
लगा लिया.
Yeah, it's good that you
इधर?
pointed that out, because like the
पीछे?
last time
हाँ ना?
we did see Full Sense on
सही है.
Ascent, you had Hugo God on that deadlock,
सेटल हो
which
चुके
is
मतलब
so
हमारा
crucial
इसमें.
to the composition of Full Sense. But now as we're seeing it, we're seeing Opinion take over. Okay, I believe this is going to be one of the first times that he's bringing out the deadlock, if I'm not mistaken. But we're seeing
Yes,
strong
a
step.
similar lineup on Full Sense, and no adjustments
खेल
there.
रहा है?
But from the side of
Timber.
Velocity, this is
अरे
looking
वाह.
quite different.
Yeah, I mean, we have to focus on Velocity first here. This is very different.
बाकी तो
I'm so excited
नॉर्मल ही
for
है,
this,
जो
because
खेलते थे
we're
वही है.
playing this standard comp, but that's not who they are. Mahara's back on his signature neon, SK Rossi on his signature chamber. They've listened to me. They've gone back to
SK Rossi's
personal
signature
combat.
chamber है?
They're going to try and excel the individuals here. This is great because they've had time to prep this, and they're going to be throwing Full Sense off entirely. We're still playing that same comp, so now I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic about Velocity here in how they're going to make this work.
Ooh, I wonder how quickly Full Sense can actually adjust, given the little bit of a roster shuffle. Yes, he's playing the same role, but I'm sure playstyle-wise, it's still going to be a bit of an adjustment. Velocity, it sounds like comfort is key for this, as you're seeing everybody lean into some comfort picks. The agents that they know, like the backs of their hands here. So I'm seeing that Velocity actually have the potential to take this if they just stick to what they know.
Yeah, I mean, the breach is also so surprising. I think people have played Chamber on this map before, but the breach is entirely new. So let's see how Full Sense managed to deal with this.
Let's see indeed. As we toss it over to our casters, we're going over to Quack and Pilsky for the call.
Thank you, Mika and Morgan. Pilsky. I was just kind of like chuckling to myself because the excitement in Morgan's voice for Velocity's comp. Like, he's just so happy to see them going in with this different composition. He loves those guys. Our only South Asian reps right here in Ascension Pacific.
I mean, he did a very good job hiding his bias. You gotta give credit where credit is due. He's playing it cool. We haven't seen what Velocity is going to be rocking up with this tournament. It's going to be a very interesting look for them. And honestly, I can't wait to see what they have prepped for this tournament. As they are, as mentioned, our South Asian reps, a little bit of a different look from the South Asia side. Last year, you did see them with the two Kazakhs. who went on to some better success, especially for DOS9. Both of them performing very well. Now we've gone with two Indo talents, which begs the question just how deep the talent is in that region, because these guys, they weren't on any of the top teams really in Indonesia. We're on Bigatron, sitting there just kind of in the sub-top of that region. And Damara's been a monster in that South Asian region this year.
Let's see if they can actually dish out the damage that they did in that region up over onto Ascension. Already kicking things off, but you do have Arpinia, like you mentioned, first time able to land a perfect net as well.
Lightning
Everyone's
fast.
pretty much bugged out
Kaz bhi mar
over
gaya.
on the site, trying to get some
Madeline
space
अकेला
for
बचा
a
है, मर
better
गया वो.
generator, but simply spotted out by Full Sense on this pistol.
Yeah, it's a complete shutdown
अभी
on the
बंद कर
pistol
देगा
here.
stream?
This is full census map pick. They will be
बंद तो
allowed
कर
to
रहा है.
start on the defensive side. Velocity, they have chosen to start attack here. We talked about
I
game
don't think
planning
so.
on the desk a little bit and changing up their comp, trying to
उम्मीद
have
नहीं
that
हारनी
surprise
आपने
factor
पहले तो.
against full sense in this opening game, but so far, unfortunately, not finding too much success in the pistol. It's only early days just yet. I mean, full sense, they got to be feeling confident coming into this game, though. I mean, they've been cutting their
थोड़ा
teeth
सा भी कुछ
in
strategy नहीं है,
challenges
सीधा
SEA.
घुस
They've
गए.
won a stage this year. They've been a top 3 team all year long.
जय भाई.
And right now,
Socho
they're
इसके
just
अच्छे
gonna
head
hunker
hunter
down
मार
with
दे
the
अभी.
judge setup. You mentioned that
नहीं
you know,
मारेगा.
the team have always come in consistently with podium finishes. Always been a prominent
था पर वो
presence
उसके लिए.
in Southeast Asian Valorant all throughout, I think, as well.
Ready तो है वो 3-4 साल से. ओ भाई, ओ भाई.
Flash
वो
though, but it
तो
doesn't
low
matter
HP है.
if this judge is just ready to hammer down on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this in Champs, right? This was a very much abused mechanic. The judge in some of these angles, you saw it from NRG. Seen some play that exact same angle with that smoke. You've seen it for a couple of years now, but especially right now, it's very trendy and very effective in this current meta.
And the spike on the ground too, like, unless you hope for a lucky classic kill at some point, or maybe Headhunter if Rossi lands it. He's just so low though, Pilly. And now Sephiroth in a prime position to go fan out with the rest of the team. And this round should be done. Just waiting for the final player to go down, Madeline. Trying to sneak away a lucky kill if possible. As soon as the smoke goes off, everyone's just going to push out together. A flawless cleaned up by
He's just
Full
trying
Sense.
to get an orb, you know,
देखना पड़ेगा.
trying to get something for himself. Sephiroth, though, I mean, that's just such a high percentage play at the moment. Playing around that smoke with the judge just makes that anti-eco nice and easy, and that's going to be something the Velocity will have to play around, will have to consider as they head into the anti-bonus. It's the first gun round here for Velocity, and we'll see what they prep. Neon's going to give them a lot of pace on this map, but outside of that, I mean, you're really focusing on these punchy set plays with the Neon Breach. They can bully this map control very nicely, but it's a question of how they follow that up. Once again, they've started off with just taking this A main control, grabbing themselves an orb. Russ is getting closer and closer to this rolling thunder as time goes on. Full Sense just trying to throw off their opponents here. You see this dark cover.
3 लोग देख रहे हैं अपनी ये stream.
They're not really playing around it at all. It's really just
वैसे तो
Full
ये
Sense
लग रहा है
chucking a
कि
dark
कितना
cover into the middle
simple
and
fake
making
दे रही है
Velocity
VLT.
concerned
कुछ
that
और
there
आता
is
नहीं
some
देखो.
kind of play, especially given the fact that Full Sense is on their bonus here.
The drone just continues to clear out A main as well.
अब A-main भी clear हो गया. अब उनको पता है कि
Velocity,
भाई ये
a
लोग
minute on the
इधर
clock
से
to
आने
work
वाले
with.
हैं.
Have just shoved that A main control. Here's the second wave for them. Smoke to cat, drone into middle is going to be a very clear tell to Full Sense that this is going to be a mid to B, and they've rotated accordingly.
We'll have to see if the shots will be just as good though. So far in the macro reading, Velocity just right.
Stack
But
side में घुस रहे
through
हैं, बताओ.
market, this is where the Thorns might not be
Right.
as effective. I say that, actually, it's pretty spot on. Gonna have to time it just right. And down it goes. Arpinia, unfortunately, the first casualty for Full Sense in this moment. Relay bolt out to block off CT as well, but Potter in with the Marshall. Doesn't matter if Laz is inside of the smokes. Finds some shots towards the
Obey.
back of his target.
Bye.
And more to go.
Bye.
Full HP, no matter. Shots found all the way to the back of Boathouse.
क्यों देख
It's
रहे
just
हो?
too readable for Velocity. Every
इसका चेहरा मत दिखाओ यार, इसका चेहरा मत दिखाओ पहले तो.
So telegraphed and so easy for Full Sense to read. Gotta give
यार
credit where
ठीक है
credit's
यार
due,
होता
like
है यार
Velocity, they took their time
अब
working
देख
their
अब
way
कम
into
बैक
the
है
side. They isolated the
थ्री इज
deadlock
ऑल
on
दे
the
गेट
stairs.
भाई
But
थ्री इज
outside
ऑल
of
दे
that, there
गेट
really wasn't too much to
Waiting
write
for
home
the
about,
comeback.
unfortunately. Full Sense re-cleared A
Three
main.
is all they
The
get.
smoke to Cat and the drone into middle, as I mentioned, makes it very obvious that
अभी
Velocity are
अभी
at some point in
वेट
the
तो
round
इसका
going to
रहेगा
split mid to B, and Full Sense have plenty of time
टू
to
द
work for
फोर्स
that.
बेबी
It's just fantastic. And now, for the first time in this half, they hear presence from
Global
Velocity
Esports का
inside of
वो
A.
था ना
Everyone's
पिस्टल
prepared. You got this out, Bob Potter.
ग्लोबल esports
Gonna farm
हाँ
up.
इनके पास क्लासिक ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट्स
Oh,
के
yeah, he's just
ओ
gonna
भाई
go Billy. Oh, look at
Gee.
Pinya chiming in as well with the angle from stairs. Potential for more too. Already tossed out the grab net, and it's another round as well where the spikes dropped in. Thankfully, there's smoke. They can retrieve that somewhat, but look at who's behind! Sephiroth alongside Laz. This fragging
Gee,
high from
bhai.
Full Sense. No matter, it's just a judge. Close range. A flawless again.
Full Sense are well and
और
truly
जब हमारा
in
सब
their
शक्ल
comfort
देख के
zone
बोलता
on
हूँ
home
कि
soil.
लोगों के साथ खेलना
Their
पड़ रहा है
opponents have given them the defensive side of their map pick. It really just couldn't be a better day for Full Sense thus far. Velocity have not posed them any questions at all just yet on
एक round
Ascent.
हंस
Seems
रहे
a
हैं
little
भाई
bit too easy.
हंस रहे हैं
And as a result, you see just how good the economy
पीछे
is
चलो
on
क्या?
Full Sense right now. Potter's brought out the
थोड़ा
arm.
सा शायद
Plenty of cash in the back pocket to continue reinvesting. Velocity, we'll see what they go
Yeah,
towards. This
Damara
A
खेल
main
जाएगा।
control early on in the round has not been working for them. They're going to go towards middle, but the
Gotcha.
op's already posted up.
बच गया
It's been
साला
pretty decent so far.
Good
This
flash.
time blinded though, so
भाई
has to
बढ़िया।
get
मैं
out.
लगती
But
है
as
उसको अकेले
soon
जाने
as
दे रहा है भाई
Velocity
कैसे भाई
try to philosophize their way into market, they get stuck.
मार्केट में फ्लैश नहीं डाला था क्या लाइटनिंग
Hold
फास्ट
up the
ने नहीं
round,
डाला
and they're looking for a
क्या
couple
करेगा क्या
more.
पता
Picked
बचे
out Lockside Annihilation. That's a
Russ
frag.
ने
That's a
निकाला।
second one.
Eskeros,
Russ
Eskeros।
making a slight trade, but he is
कर रहा है क्या
pinned
कुछ
down
अबे
to
मैं
net.
पीछे क्यों हूँ यार
Does get a couple, but unfortunately will go
देखो
down
ना,
with the rest of the
Eskeros
team.
को देखो।
एस्केरोस ही 1v4 1v3
Who's been skulking
और सबको
across.
पता है शायद कि वो ऐसा
Can he
है
set this flank up?
नहीं नहीं नहीं
It's gonna
पता
be tough, Pilly, because
वाटर देख रहा है बस पीछे
I don't think he's got the
Eight.
angles or the utility. Just going to go in for a slight crouch peek to boot.
Yeah, able to take one down at least. Still got a lot of time to work with. 45 seconds.
देख भरोसा तो मेरे को बहुत है एस्केरोस
B
पे
and found the entry.
मरेगा
He's
अभी
going to have to do this whole round by himself.
Around the corner, the odds.
अरे रे 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 भाई
Slight whiffs, but Sephiroth got the 6.
भगा था पॉट
Full Sense were already set up to deal with that mid to B through
देखो
market.
ना
Like
कैसे
they already had
feeling उसे
a
लगा
player
हुआ
in the
है।
bait corner in market. You'll see it here. Blaz is set up. Leviathan's
वो
playing in the
अबे
open
वो स्टन
space
कितना
here.
लेट
And
आया
then you've got both the deadlock and the
Stun
jet
तो late
already
आया,
at top
उसके
middle.
बाद मेरे को पहले
Effectively,
लगा,
you're running into a
तुम
two-way
देखो
crossfire.
पहले
There's
कि वो
already
दो
4
बंदे,
players
एक
from Full
बंदा
Sense
heavy कि नहीं
ready
है।
to shut down that
फिर
mid to
घुसो
B.
ना।
It feels like despite any
इनको
comp
ले ही नहीं
changes,
रहा, अंदर घुस
despite,
रहा है।
you know,
अंदर
Velocity
घुस
trying to
एजेंट
put
भी नहीं है ना
something a
उनके
little
पास
bit
क्या
different, Full
इसने
Sense
ब्रीच
going
ले
into
लिया
this
असेंट
game.
पे
Full Sense have
भाई,
just had perfect reads.
So
क्या
अभी तो है
Like
पर
they're really
कहाँ है
really
सोवा
good velocity.
अच्छा है क्या मेडिलिन सोवा खेल रहा है
That
क्या
market
Why
hold,
not?
even though Potter might have, whipped the first shot, and there were flashes and everything, but yeah, you mentioned it. The
ये कौन है?
reads, the way that they're switching around their defensive setups, it's just so darn impressive.
किसी को भी बना
And
लेते क्या
definitely
कोच
need a timeout for Velocity at this point.
We'll see what they come up with. Do agree with what the desk said about the experience of this core. It's a direct contrast to what you saw from South Asia's representative in last year's Ascension. I felt like the Indian core of the team or the South Asian core of the team wasn't as rock solid as this current iteration. You do have players, as mentioned, like Lightning Fast, like Russ, who have experience in Pacific, playing on global.
इतनी बोर हो रही है मैच की अब रील देखने लग गए
Whereas the imports might not be
आजा आजा वापस आजा
be at the
ये राउंड है भाई अपना
when
देख
it comes
50 है
to
ये
Indonesia.
एस्केरोसी ने गन
They
सेव
have
करी है
been
ना
grinding
अच्छा नहीं
all year
खरीदी है
long.
साले
They've won the last two
दो
splits of South
दो
Asia
और
back to
पूरे
back.
टूर दे फोर्स बेबी से
It's a
रूलिंग
shows
थंडर
a
रेडी
lot
है
of hope for the team for
From the
sure.
shadows
It's
भी
the
ready है
sole South Asian reps as well. I mean, their representatives last year, went out 7th, 8th place, so hopefully not the same result.
रूलिंग
this
थंडर
time.
इन्वेस्टेड
Stage
इतने जल्दी
after all. We'll kick things
गुड
off
ब्लाइंड
with rolling
लेकिन अबे
thunder into sight,
कैपिटलाइज तो करो
but no execute just yet. Now,
She.
Thorns as well as Roses being able to
She.
hold them in their tracks. The
She.
judge firing off successfully. Off to a sheriff as well. Leviathan then comes in to mop things up.
Yeah,
Abhi-
just Velocity organizing another pretty well drilled set
Bhai,
play.
ye
It
log
was the initial A main
classic
control.
rank
They're
खेल रहे हैं,
contacting up
rank
Cat in the
खेल रहे हैं.
meanwhile. You get the Rolling Thunder all the
अबे
way up
नहीं
to
ना,
three.
सब सही तो
But
किया था,
unfortunately,
उन्होंने
there's
घुसे
just
ही
no
नहीं.
capitalization off the back of that. By the
भाई
time you're actually
कैपिटलाइजेशन ही नहीं
committing
किया
to that
कुछ.
site, the Rolling Thunder
वो
has
जो
already elapsed.
ट्रीज से आ रहे हैं वो
Once again,
इतना
running
धीरे
into
धीरे
the
आ रहे हैं.
judge. What is that shot on the Sheriff from Sephiroth to follow up? That was ridiculous flick off the tree.
अभी देखो टू
That
द
is
फोर्स
just the
बेबी.
kind of raw mechanics that these players
आ
at full
टूर
sets
दे
have,
फोर्स
man.
बेबी. काम का है क्या? रोलिंग थंडर इतना अच्छा हल्ट किया था, इतना अच्छा ब्लाइंड किया था, घुसा ही नहीं कोई.
Challenger Southeast Asia this entire year. I'm not just
एओ
talking this
लेना
week
था
three,
इनको ना.
but here they go again. It's Potter back towards middle.
ओ मैडेलिन.
Velocity this
Oh!
time. Hunter's Fury goes huge, and it's lightning fast to block up
Damn.
short with a double kill.
ये करना चाहते वो फर्स्ट राउंड से यही करना चाहते थे, अभी हुआ
They
वो.
all died like chickens.
उनको बहुत तेजी में
I'd love
निकालने
to
सारे
see the
राउंड.
replay of that Hunter's Fury. Great adjustment from Velocity. That was the same little trap that you've seen from full sets previously. What a beautiful play
Lightning fast ने बहुत
from
मस्त मारा.
Velocity Sova.
ये करना
Because
था.
that is the exact
ये
same
करना
setup
था
that
उनको
just
तब
shut
से.
them down when they tried to go mid to B earlier, remember?
वही
But
करना
this
था,
time,
क्योंकि
with the
crunch कर
Hunter's
रहे थे
Fury
दोनों
through
side.
अरे
bucket,
ऑफ दिख
piles
रही है
of
भाई
buckets
किसी
is
के
not
पास.
something you'll see too often, and then
अरे ये कौन है?
plus the cap crunch.
बॉटम ब्रेक करके ऑफ करने वाला कौन है?
Just a lovely little adjustment, but they've got to keep that up, Pilsky. 1-6 is still not.
अब आएगा ना
most,
एसके रॉसी. असली
satisfying
एसके रॉसी तो
score
अभी
they
आएगा
have
देख.
for this first half.
देख अब
Drones
कैसे
out
मारता हूँ
now,
4 लोग
over
ऑफ
onto
से.
Yeah,
middle.
they're gonna. Drones will kiss inside a middle. Leviathan has copped the stun. Damara not feeling bold enough to capitalize that.
पॉटर को देखो ना कितनी जगह दे दी उन्हें एमएन पे.
Playing this one slowly. Waiting for some kind of reaction from Full Sense. Which won't be
अब
granted.
देख, अब देख. तू देख. देख. एसके रॉसी.
Be granted towards B main for now.
टूर दे फोर्स रेडी है.
Operator suddenly make noted.
I mean, this is just not something that you'd ever see. An op inside B main on the
ओ भाई
low.
ये क्या? ये क्या टीपी है?
Being caught completely off guard.
भाई तूने टीपी देखा क्या?
Still have the sheer
हाँ,
wall
देखा
at
ना.
least though. Let's
डैम एसके रॉसी दो.
main point of
SK
contention. Arpinia pushes in towards
हो
main.
गया हो गया.
But
गुड
no
राउंड
chance
गुड
to
राउंड
pull out
भाई.
util. It's gonna
मस्त
be
राउंड.
Velocity able
नहीं,
to
वही.
kick things into high gear onto the site. Damara slows things down just a bit to kind of offset
Yes, so-
Sephiroth's rhythm, and unfortunately, that's where full
Yes,
sense
sir.
goes down. Potter gonna have to run off the stage.
एसके रॉसी.
Velocity starting to make some adaptations, starting to get rolling a little bit.
बोला था मैंने भाई एसके
Done well
रॉसी
with
है
the
भाई.
good setup in the previous gun round. This gun round, I mean, the slow walk through B main with the op. Rossi's only got 2 kills, but he's three kills, but he's effectively won them that round, punishing that
ये
mid-round
लाइटनिंग
aggression
फास्ट
into
ने
B
अपना
main.
नाम लाइटनिंग
You know, it's a
लाइटनिंग
pretty
डीएफक्यू
common
रखा है.
protocol nowadays.
अरे वो
where
वहाँ पे
you'll be
उनके यूआई में
players
फिट नहीं होता.
aggressive
लाइटनिंग
to B
फास्ट
main on
लंबा
the
है
ground
तो
where you
लाइटनिंग
don't
एफ
have too
करना
much
पड़ता है उसको.
information and just try to isolate that duel on the lurker. But up against an op, that's just free pickings.
It's definitely a welcome sight. Yeah, especially when it's an off.
Mother.
A weapon
हंट
which
हो रही है भाई
Velocity
ऑफ.
is familiar
चलो
with
ऑफ
for
निकल
sure.
जाएगी.
Didn't have much from the previous year, but here we go. Finally locating
Let's
Potter
go.
and managing to rob that away with a knife kill to boot.
नाइस वे.
Already sending a message. Here's
ठीक
Damara.
है ठीक है. कॉन्फिडेंस तो है मतलब
Or
टीम
in
में.
the highlight there that he has got about 14
SK
games on the Neon in the last
एसके
little bit.
रॉसी.
And I think the next highest played duelist was like 3 or 4 reps. So he's wanting to try to drown that agent as much as possible. You can see
Smile चली
he's
गई
confident with the movement to get in there for the nice little right click. It's going
कैसे हंस रहा है
to
भाई
start to lift the
हमारा.
spirits of velocity
इसके
here
पास
after a
इतने
slow
पैसे आ
start.
कहाँ से रहे? हर राउंड ऑफ ले रहा.
अरे तो कितने 4 राउंड लगातार
Translate
जीते
to
थे ना.
more rounds,
5
maybe
जीते
we're
थे
gonna see an
लगातार.
op challenge both angles. Potter's got the advantageous one for now though, but at the same time, just a
क्या वॉल
slight
ट्रिप की उसने?
pump fake over
Why not?
towards bottom mid.
Just trying to bait out the sheer wall,
क्या लगता है?
but
क्या
potentially
लगता
going to
है?
walk into the op.
अबे वो ए पे रहना था लाइटनिंग फास्ट ने और रोटेट बहुत जल्दी कर रहा है. Potter
that's
की
where
पोजीशन
Potter's
देख.
gonna have
मरता
so
मरता
much to
डमारा.
do. Needs to be able to
नहीं,
react
oh,
quickly if
nice.
he is to
हाँ,
stay
ठीक है.
alive
फ्लैश
and get
अच्छा.
out
गुड
possibly.
फ्लैश.
Cloudburst in manages to tailwind
Oh.
away. The flashpoint.
ओ
spent.
भाई.
Here
Oh,
comes
भाई.
Laz in an attempt to retrade, but no. Russ is
ठीक है.
right on top of it.
चलेगा,
Hunter's
चलेगा.
Fury instantly ripped to try
भाई
to
लेकिन क्या
stop them.
डैश इन किया
It's
उसने?
not happening. Velocity will barrel
भागने
on
नहीं दिया
through.
पॉटर को.
They're
Rest
really
ने भी अच्छा
controlling the
मारा.
pace of this game. Beautiful breach util there for Russ to set up Damara to just punish any kind of attempt
रॉसी की
to
ऑफ
scurry
एक
back
और देखने को
out
मिल
of
सकता है
B
हमें यहाँ
main
पे. एक और kill.
And now Rossi's got Market as well. Another shot.
अरे आप 2x
echoing
speed करो ना
throughout this
अपनी,
entire
तभी तो
side.
चल रहा है।
Keen है यार.
It's a message
फिर
to
भी live नहीं
Kenya
होता ना.
and Leviathan that you do not want to pass this threshold over onto B. Back off. It's our time now.
Yo, what year is it, Clack? We're scared of SK Rossi's up again.
अबे अब buffer हो रहा है.
He's back. He's back.
हाँ, उन लोगों ने बोल
Like, I
दिया
can't
ये
even remember, like 2021 or something like that. Everyone was like, this guy's insane on the op. You know?
Yeah.
Current year, 2025.
कर दिया मैंने 22x. अबे फिर buffer हो रहा है ना 2x करने के बाद भी तो कुछ फायदा नहीं है.
The
Running
previous
from
map
the
too.
hills. Yeah, I know. What is going on?
अबे एक्सट्रोस भी ऑफ गई।
Okay, Arpina though.
हैं?
नहीं बच गए।
Oh, we picked it up? Yeah, there we go. All right, all good. We've
In
recycled
time.
it back for Rossi. Man, Velocity, I'm very impressed with these last couple of rounds. I love what they're doing. Beautiful flashpoint to push that off the line, and these are the kind of things. I mean, that's fantastic from Damara as well. Catches the updraft from the Jet, trying to get back into sight. These small little timings, and it's something that Big Time talked about. I don't think the hard reads or the initial start to this game is what impresses
But
me
like
about
Time
the
out.
way
map
that
है ना,
Velocity's playing.
defensive
But it's
map है,
more just the
इसमें अगर
patience and the
passport भी
way that
निकाल
they're
दिए तो बहुत है।
executing their game plan that you can tell is
लेकिन
making
डिफेंसिव
Full Sense
कॉम्पोजिशन
very
नहीं है ना
uncomfortable.
VLT का.
You're not ready for a
हाँ,
flashpoint.
वो
on
तो
that
ट्राई
end
करेंगे
to
अभी
be
जितना
able
हो
to
जाए.
push your op
Timber
off the
ले
line.
लेना।
You're not ready
वही
for the
660
shove
अभी
to
उनके
be able
पास
to,
बेस्ट
you know,
था.
take out your shear 3 seconds into the round off the Neon. It's the fact that it's kind of this unique style with an agent that you don't usually see. Therefore, you're not ready for the routines and the protocols that Velocity is throwing at you. And those little micro moments are what are kind of throwing Full Sense off. And they're getting punished pretty hard, I actually have to say.
It's true. Not to mention that little pump fake as well. I mean,
अगर पहला
the
मैच जीती तो
recovery
कृष्णा
is
सर को
nice,
बुलाते
but they
नेक्स्ट
have to
मैच।
keep it going. It still is a 3-6 for now. I mean, if they
अगर
can
पहला
actually
मैच
get
जीती
this
तो ही
match
सेकंड
won,
मैच
it
पे
would
जा रहे हैं
already
अपन.
be
वरना
quite
तो वैसे भी बंद
the
नहीं करते.
statement
हाँ
to
ना,
make.
तो
You know, it's a
इसलिए तो अगर
different
बंद नहीं
performance
करेंगे
as
तो कृष्णा
compared
सर को
to
बुलाएंगे।
what they had in their grand final for the South Asian Ascension qualifier. But for now, back into it. This is Full Sense's
SK
time
Rossi की
out. Let's see if it does convert
ये मिड पूरा
over to
खाली
a
छोड़
dub.
दिया उन्होंने इस बार।
And this is immediately some change-ups from
और
Velocity.
ये लोग मिड ही
See
जा रहे हैं.
Madeline, you know, sitting at the backside of B, lining up some kind of crazy lineup. Op and Triple Peak posting out towards bottom middle. Just going to allow Velocity to start contacting up Cat. At least initially into this round, Velocity are very much expecting some kind of aggression here from Full Sense. But they won't bite.
लाइनअप लॉल
So Madeline, I'm just curious where this dart is going. I think that's into
कहाँ
line,
करेगा ये
right?
लाइनअप?
It's either that or like a set dart into the side. But I'm pretty sure this is
Main
going to
पे
be
गिरा
the
ना।
wine take.
अच्छा मेरे को लगा मिड पे जो गिरा वो डिफेंस का था. वो अपना है मेरे को
By
लगा.
Velocity, all picked up yet again. We've seen this a couple of times from them in the early round. But with 30 seconds elapsing, this has been a very slow round, and they still do have this up on the attacking side, which begs the question, how does this round look when it's finished? Because they are really running the clock down here.
स्टैक में जा रहे हैं। स्टैक में मत
Definitely
जा
going to be
यार।
pretty hectic to pick up.
ओह,
Full Sense are still controlling the map. You mentioned the recon.
अबे रोटेट देख डेडलॉक रोटेट कर रहा है. अरे नहीं यार थोड़ा लेट तोड़ता साले.
And then they
Time in
break
there.
it. Sonic Sensor slows them down though. Affords time for Full Sense to get the rotations in. Pills. Look, they sent the paranoia as well, Pilski. Still trying to break their way out at least. Velocity trudging
20
on
seconds.
through. Annihilation just
अबे
makes
इसके
them
रस्सी
feel
उल्टा।
so scared. They can't quite find safe entry onto site. Now Potter over onto main. Crosshair thrown off.
Eh?
Escape the annihilation. Sephiroth for a couple of shots. And that unfortunately will be all that Full Sense can get. A successful
कैसे?
site take and a spike plant. Laz now out from the
Replay
top
देखना
of
होगा।
heaven. Does
अबे
have
भाई।
Steel Garden, maybe a flash, but needs to shoot down so much more. Madeline will not have it. Velocity up to a fourth.
Wow. Like they are really just playing this game of Ascent at their own pace. They don't feel too much pressure there. Like I'm looking at the clock that whole round back. I'm like, bro.
अच्छा
there's
लाइटनिंग
15
फास्ट ने
seconds
एक
to
लिया
go.
और इधर फ्रीज
And
में
Full
मरा है.
Sense have got 4 stack
Lightning
on the
Fast
A
ने
side.
दो
This
लिया
round is over, right? Like
और
they are
ये
going to choke. They're not going to be able to put the pieces
Medallion,
together.
है ना?
But they execute that A split
Medallion.
perfectly. Even when they get caught by the annihilation,
Medallion ने
there's
तीन
no
लिया।
panic. They just
यार मेरे को
aim it
एसके रॉसी
together
की वेले देखनी.
as that clock really started to dwindle down. And I mean the
Time
timeline
out.
says it all here. 4 rounds in a row from
Equal time
Velocity.
out.
The calling has been phenomenal. And Full Sense just
Technical
do
है.
not seem to have the answer
Technical
even
है.
post timeout.
पता नहीं.
अब
हाँ
मैं
शायद
Imagine
टेक्निकल है.
that's a little bit of
Technical है, tech
experience.
pause
I'm
है तो.
definitely impressed and tickled
Yeah.
by the past 4 rounds that Velocity have picked up. A slight
Yeah.
tech pause for our gear issue to get fixed, but at the same time, you have to be admiring, you know, how this has gone back and forth between both teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's their own unique take on how they want to, you know, play this map. Every single time we say it coming into Ascension that South Asia is the region, as mentioned by Morgan on the desk, that finishes before a lot of the other regions. It gives you some time to watch how the other teams play and maybe prep something special. But it also gives you a lot of time to flip your camps to completely change up your style. You go back and look at what Velocity was doing in this map unsuccessfully in South Asia with the standard comp, and now they bring something fresh that's working really well here.
Well, this time at least, though, Full Sense wanting to take the fight to them. Picking up the orb,
Same
Blade
kar
Storm
rahe
at the
hain
ready
guys.
Blade
for
Storm invested.
Contact up. In response from Velocity,
Mid पे
वो
कोई
ये
क्यों नहीं है?
अच्छा है.
it's working
ये
together
अच्छा फेंक
as
दे
a
रहे हैं.
unit. Drone will
Oh,
go
bhai.
up short, trying to pull some tension and some interest over towards A while the rest of Velocity walk their way into middle, but the updraft here from Potter could be deadly.
Oh,
He listens up for the flash first, and there he goes. Oh, right off the rip. Cracked one skull.
nice.
Can he find more, though? That's the question. Tailwind unfortunately expires, and no shots
nice.
connected just yet. Madeline maybe a
But
bit of
जाता
chip
रहे ये
damage,
लोग.
but that's it. Leviathan to hold out
उनको
towards
बस
the back,
मारना है,
Russ
उनको किधर
quickly
plant नहीं
trade
करने का.
off.
Play for
Now
picks है
you've
उनका.
got options.
The flash and the spacing is just so clean from Velocity. They are working slowly
Main पे ये है
but
ना.
methodically together.
क्या expect
Isaiah
करेगा
Pena
ये? Main
inside a
base
B
को.
main, naught but a sheriff to his name. Has to go
बहुत
huge
deep है.
for full sense.
मरेगा.
Goes in for the tap.
Oh, to the
Second
force
shot will
baby.
do the trick.
Tour
Now
de
weapon
force
retrieved as well.
baby.
Maybe slowed down for the time being, but
Up
still,
nick, SK Rossi.
Tour de force trying to block off rotations all the way out from spawn. Russ
SK Rossi show चालू होने वाला है.
as well.
Yeah, picked up off the back of the plant. Rossi playing
SK Rossi show.
the op-out.
Rolling Thunder और Steel Garden दोनों एक साथ इन्वेस्ट कर.
And you go out for all Pilly. Grab net spotted. So Rossi.
Ha!
Look.
SK Rossi. अबे
Accuracy, not the
Shit.
second one though.
अबे वो कितना easy था, मेरे को लगा मार देगा.
To come in strong on the retake. Russ
Good
looking to
stun.
slow them down further. Last
Must
caught in his
aftershock.
tracks, but able to stick onto the spike at least. Aftershocks him to dissuade it.
Oh!
Go back. Russ, he's just
Bhai.
around the corner. Sephiroth getting the shot at the end, but at that point, no time for the
Reliable player है
defense.
क्या?
That's
Reliable
just
player
bloody
है.
brilliant. In the back of the site there, fault line plus the aftershock
tour
to
de
force
force
them
भी
off
लगा
of the
उसमें.
अबे Tour
defuse.
de Force baby वो दूसरा
Steel
kill था बे
Garden
उसका
comes
क्यों
in
नहीं
for
मारा
full
क्या
sets.
पता.
They're expecting to be able to waltz back into the site, but they overlook the fact that the Tour de Force is pulled out from Rossi. That does not count as a primary weapon. You're still peeking straight
And
into
ये
it.
वाला मस्त मारा बे
That's a
रस
fifth
ने.
round in a row for
Russ ने.
Velocity.
Diffuser को मारा. ए सुना क्या?
क्या?
फिर से वापस जा और सुन.
One
क्या
more
Lightning
time
Fast देख क्या बोलता.
He main taken once again from Velocity. That's not ideal.
Aye, aye.
Sit, have a sit down, Sephiroth. Calm down, brother.
सुना क्या?
गाली दे
हाँ
रहा
हाँ हाँ.
Let's go on and hang back.
Off the back of that.
मेरे को लगता है ना
That's prepping the
Damara को
aftershock.
off
It is a
देके
1-4 once again.
Damara
Rossi
ult
kind
कर
of on the
सकता
lurk
है
in
side
towards B
में.
main. The rest of the
और
boys
Rossi
working that A main control drone.
वही कर सकता है.
और रेगा.
Leviathan.
ये स्टैक में जा रहे हैं लोग.
This is just
फिर
Russ
से.
calling it to perfection as
फिर से
well.
जा रहे.
Aftershock at an angle to swing out. Sephiroth able to take down the
अबे
first
कैसे
one.
अकेला कैसे घुस रहा है भाई?
And that's quickly dealt with.
एक एक करके
Blockade
क्यों?
set up outside of A main. VLT has to look for other options.
Yeah, they were really
अरे
just trying
अजीब है
to
इनके
force full
calls.
sense into that A
कैसे
main
अकेले
fight.
घुस रहे वो Lightning Fast भी अकेला घुस गया.
Necessarily
Damara
didn't
भी
take the
अकेला ही
fight
घुस
in
गया.
terms that they were looking for. Deadlock
और
will
पहले बार
started
घुस
to
क्यों रहा
fade out.
Lightning
40
Fast?
seconds on the
वो
clock
तो
as Rossi
वो है
went
ना
for a pick with
स्मोकर
the
है
op.
ना.
We have the right
Rossi
angle.
की
though.
आयन ऑफ.
Sonic sensor.
दादाजी की ऑफ चाहिए यार. ये
From
क्या
the
है?
previous contest, you are already aware that there are
30 seconds
3
left.
possible
नो
hostiles
ट्रीज
on
में
this
है
new
भाई.
site from
घिरे
the
हुए हैं
Sheriff's
सारी
players,
तरफ से.
which might give Full Sense a better idea of where Velocity are. Trying to find another avenue of entry out towards the top.
Nice.
They peek together. They swing. This is Sephiroth, low
Tiny.
HP, alongside
No time.
Arpenia, towards the bottom of hell.
Oh!
That's
No
all that
way!
Velocity had to deal with, and they managed to take them down in quick succession, all onto Laz. And Arc Rose equipped. That's
Rossi
all
को
he's
मिलेगा
got.
kill. Rossi का kill है.
Slowly
Rossi
slicing
का
the
kill.
pie.
है.
Managing the spot on the
Headhunter.
first head, but Rossi off and through with the headhunter. Velocity tie up the
खेल रही है भाई. खेल
What
रही
am
है
I
भैया.
watching, man?
Yeah,
How have they
round
just
boy.
contacted
खेल रही है.
Upcat into tree through a bloody window and a door 3v5 and won that with 15 seconds on the clock? There is no way that they should be allowed to do that. I have to ask the same question. What are Full Sets
Aw.
doing, Quack?
Well, we're gonna have to hold on to those questions because it's in it for a little halftime break, but hopefully in the second half, the answers will be revealed. What doing was the question posed towards Full Sense at the end of that first half? Well, we're gonna find out now that Full Sense are on the attack in this second half.
6 in a row for Velocity. At the end of that half, Rossi on the line. It's a double peek into him. Doesn't lose his life though. Able to rendezvous to safety for now, and Full Sense will take mid control. But look at this mid stack for Velocity just lying in wait.
3 on the other end. Russ with potential. Fault line and Flash. They will go in for the peak. Really bolt up from Damara as well. Just straight into the fray. Russ provides additional fire support. And all of a sudden, Full Sense, they've got to tuck away. Leviathan trying to shoot himself out into a safer angle. Smoked off by Sephiroth, but still low HP on both ends. Velocity, a couple more dinks and they could be dead. So having to back off safely.
पांचों जिंदा है लेकिन
Continuing to
बहुत
push
दो
the
है
issue. Spotted out by Lightning Fast. There's still 4 players here from Velocity, and they want to fight. They're all going to spin top in together, and Full Sense able to bring this
V1
down to
कैसे हो गया थे
1-1.
और लेवियथान बहुत लो है
Just
ना
battle
इसके बाद
on
शेरिफ
his
है
lonesome
इजी है
hit. He knows exactly where Leviathan was last spotted, and he's one sheriff shot away from death.
इजी है इजी है
So,
भागना मत
choosing to
मेडलिन
pick the angle towards the
भागना
back.
मत
A sheriff shot
आवाज कर दी
straight
आवाज
to
कर
the
दी
torso. That's all he
let's go.
needs, and there he will find it. That was a bullish
अरे आपने
response from
देखा
Full
नहीं,
Sense,
like,
Philly.
ये लोग
Yeah,
मीडिया
I mean,
उनको पता
they
था
wanted
कि
to
ये
take
मीडिया
the
आने वाले
fight
हैं, 3
straight to
बंदे मिड पे तैयार
Velocity,
थे
straight up the guts into middle, but they got more than they bargained for. This breach utility just continues to find value. It's a bloody breach master
अबे हेडहंटर
here on Ascent.
इसका
And then
हेडहंटर
it's just really heads up play from Velocity.
पहला
They're
लगा
just
उसके
playing
बाद सारे
together as a
दर्द
pack
दर्द
fantastically. Starting from that attacking side, but even in the mid round, they're on their defensive pistol. That's
हमारा
their
बहुत
7th
नीचे है
round in a row now.
It's definitely brilliant.
पॉटर ज्यादा नीचे है
IGL for sure. You can already see that experience coming into aid Velocity. Next round up, they're buying everything, so no money man this time, but just the setups over towards A main with Full Sense hoping to explode. Simple shot from Damara though, yeah. Just coming
बढ़िया.
through with some additional smokes and look, the aftershock as well, Philly. SK Rossi manages to silence the player out by B main 2. which
एक भी
means
किल
we're
करे ना
five
बहुत
men.
हाइप कर दो उसको.
He's just got to twiddle his thumbs now. He's going to go around the corner and
हाइलो देखा क्या? हाइलो देखा
squad
क्या?
right on the other end.
हाइलो था
Yeah,
भाई,
straight
हाइलो.
into the high-low.
हाँ.
Brilliant from Velocity.
क्या?
And I know
Apne
watching at
city
home,
mein
like,
hoga.
I was talking about it earlier
Saturday.
with Stage Comp, but you're looking at full
कितने
sense
बजे होगा?
getting flushed out of
क्या
the
पता
corner,
रात
like
को.
3 players
या फिर
stuck by
दोपहर
a
को
relay
बेस्ट
vault,
ऑफ 3
fault line with an aftershock
दोपहर को
to
करो,
flush
मैं
them
भी आ
out.
जाता
It looks
casting में,
silly
रात में
from an
नहीं जमेगा
objective
मेरे से.
perspective, but you guys have to remember that full sense have played against every comp but this comp 100 scrims for the last however
Oh,
many
yeah,
months on
right.
Ascent. And they have never played against this. They're doing all the routines that they're used to playing against the standard meta style. And when it comes down to it, when you have to adapt to what the other team is throwing at you and what kind of util they're offering, what kind
confidence
of
है रे,
questions
अपना बंदा है
they're
वो.
asking you in the game, it can be quite hard to do.
It's true. I mean, in 2025, I can't remember the last time I saw a breach on Ascent, but, well, off to the next round now. It's going to be the full buy coming out from Full Sense. Already finding a little
Ball
bit of
trip कर दी भाई
contact,
रॉसी ने.
trying to scale up through mid.
पीछे जा रहा है.
Trademark will keep them in check for now. Rossi is as deep as he can possibly be
Cool.
inside a B main here. Drone spots
Trademark.
on the trademark.
तोड़ दिया.
Dark cover to top middle. Will be cleared. This is just full sense. Seeing what Velocity will do in reaction to this tickle on middle. Very much still in a default
अभी अगर
formation
ये जाती ना
on the attacking
क्या
side,
बोलते
but
टीम
now
जो भी
putting
नाम है
pressure
इसका
towards Catwalk.
Very careful and cautious
क्या paranoia डाला भाई.
as well. Scouting, I should say, with the defensive setups. The paranoia just completely turns them away.
मैं लगता है वो रॉसी फंस जाएगा.
Just Rossi at B. That's it.
अगर
It's
रॉसी
gonna
को
be up
वाइस
to
मिल
B.
जाती है
Got a
ना
lot of
बहुत
work to
फायदा
do
होगा.
here.
नहीं रॉसी फंस जाएगा.
Maybe you can make
बिल्कुल
it through
patience
from
से खेल रहा है,
market
देख
since
रहा है.
Rossi's all the way deep inside of B main. There's 2 players on the other end though, and he's going to start to push on up, hearing footsteps from behind. Unfortunately,
पता है क्या?
gets
वो
Laz.
लैज और
And then
वो
Madeline
स्मोक उनका
sneak through, hoping
दोनों
to
125 ही थे. मतलब मार सकता था रॉसी एक एक बुलेट में और थोड़ा सा
So
रुक
many
जाता.
smokes and fast lanes though, and it
नहीं,
completely
गया
obscures
राउंड.
the vision for Full Sense. Arpinia managing to find a simple
खत्म.
crack, and Sephiroth to be able to slip through from lane as well. Now Spike planted. All they've got to do is to watch down this one choke point. But Tamara slides onward anyway. Guardian shot successful. Sephiroth around the corner, especially with Recon providing assistance inside of the smoke. They managed to
रॉसी
decimate
को अगर मिल
Velocity.
जाता पिक
Yeah, lovely attacking
अपना
side
round
there
था.
from Full Sense. You know, I've been
30 seconds
singing
left.
the praises of Velocity's calling on the attacking side, but Full Sense really did call circles around them in that round. The pressure towards top middle, clearing the trademark, and then just applying pressure and shoving towards Catwalk. Completely
ये
pulled a
इनका
full
omen बहुत
rotation
अच्छा खेल
across
रहा था
towards
हमारी
that A
टीम
side of the map, and you don't have a proper sentinel on the side of Velocity. So when it's just SK Rossi on that B
Sephiroth,
side of the map,
Sephiroth.
you're pretty cooked at that point.
Seth Rollins.
Does make things a little bit more tricky. So SK Rossi this time with
Oh.
the op pulled out. just
SK
going down
Rossi.
ऐसे रॉसी अभी देखो
Something that
स्मोक में
they
से
will
पिक लेके
consider.
मारेगा.
हाँ.
Dark cover and the dart will push him away. He'll have to chill.
यही
a
आता
little
भाई
bit
इसको.
now. Backed well by Russ as Full Sense look to work this.
दो
mid
लोग है बे
control.
रॉसी के सामने. मरेगा भाई देख.
awareness for now, but
हाँ, SK रॉसी. एक और प्लीज रॉसी एक और एक और.
What year is it? Like Rossi is absolutely annihilating them with the op right now. Paranoia.
अबे अटक गया क्या?
Away towards Catwalk. Full Sense with only 57 seconds.
हर्ष अटक
Basically
गया तू.
relying on some mistakes from Velocity in this 5-on-3 here.
smoked off, and now spotted by Russ. Great awareness in response. Now fully aware as to where Full Sense are located. Window cracked open as well, so just being careful. But as you mentioned, Full Sense looking for some slight mistakes, and that might be the first one. A second, possibly now then into A site. Damara trying to slow things down with the relay bolt, but slowly scouting out that the entirety of site is clear. They are aware that the last one might be inside of hell. Damara's gone! They just turned this 3v5 into a 3v1!
Yeah, Full Sense really just showing Velocity that they can do everything that Velocity did on their attacking side. The contact up Catwalk in the 3-on-5, boiling the clock down to 10 seconds. That's exactly what we just saw from Velocity in the last half. That was just brilliant from Full Sense. punished every single mistake from Velocity, and that will be their second gun round in a row here to even up the scoreline.
Dude, this game is delivering right now.
For sure.
I'm so entertained by everything.
And it's delivering with a different style, a different flavor than you'd usually expect here in Asian Pacific. APAC Pacific.
APAC
It's a
Pacific?
slower style. Yeah, APAC Pacific. APAC people. Pack. I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
actually.
I don't know.
Pack.
Pack. New nickname. I mean, look, the Chamber got a lot of value. He's one of these agents. There's a lot of them. You've got the Waylay, the Yoru, the Chamber is another one of them. These are the kind of agents that when you make a mistake, you don't use that extra piece of util. You're going to lose picks moving through the map. And Rossi put them in a winning position, but unfortunately, it's just some brilliance from Full Sense to convert that 3-on-5.
Crazy. Well, Rossi's back at it again. He's got that fire lit under him, especially having spent these past 2 years in Tier 2. Spots one out by the barrel. Calls it to... He actually nails the shot. Tried to go in for another. Scope through.
Short ray, Russ.
Punished at the end. Russ now back in with the rest of the team to try to dip forward, but Full Sense having some additional added measures out from the top.
भाई लेकिन ऐसे रॉसी की क्या खेल रहा है?
He's good for the opening pick, but the re-peak
खेल रहा है
punished
भाई, खेल रहा है.
heavily. Oh,
Score
lightning
तो
fast,
88 है
pilfering the operator.
वो rated हुआ है लेकिन रॉसी खेल रहा है.
Exactly what he's up to.
तो 9-8 हो
He's
गया
repping the global esports
9-8
classic.
हाँ.
Gotta remember where you came
Nice.
from.
Off मत गिरा. Oh, nice.
He's had some nasty clutches when he was back on global as well, but now it's a 1v2 off shots is all he's got. Oh, slowly clears around the... Oh, made some noise around the thorns. That could be a slight teleport
क्या
pod.
लगता है?
Who is
Clutch है क्या?
the Jet after all?
नहीं
Still being cautious though. Wraps back around the other end. Wild swing coming through and quickly but swiftly dealt with.
Horse. Yeah. On this attacking side, slowly but surely starting to build up some more confidence.
My God.
भाई रॉसी मार रहा है यार. बाकी लोग नहीं सपोर्ट कर रहे.
Unlucky.
रॉसी को ब्लेम नहीं कर सकते.
He does have the two and a force. Yeah, man. Sometimes
टूर के पोज में भी है वैसे.
the car door happens to the best of us.